Hey everybody, hello. It's me, Briggsell, coming to you on the first day of February 2014. This is the first vlog thing I'm doing, video diary. Maybe. Today was the first day of my challenge to walk every day at least 2 miles for the whole of February. Dubbed Funury. I don't know how you even say that word. It's not been fun. It's been interesting. It's been enlightening, but it hasn't been fun. I don't find these things fun. I find them quite difficult. That's why it's a challenge for me. Anyway, let me get down to what the hell is going on. Well, the first thing I want to show you is a little clip that I took on my phone to prove that I actually did do the walk this morning. I'll insert that here. It's day one. Day one, motherfuckers. I need to tell you a little bit about the walk. The walk itself was probably just on 2 miles. It may have been a little bit light of 2 miles. It may have just been a little bit over the 2 miles. To be honest, that's going to be fine because I will be doing a little bit more walking today at some point anyway, because I'll eventually have to go upstairs a couple of times. I'll also maybe have to walk down to the shop. So if I haven't made the 2 miles up, I'll definitely make the two miles up by the end of the day. The walk itself, it started off really quite ominous because it literally just started raining. When I got up this morning. And I went out to have a little naughty cigarette in the morning because I'm a bit of a light smoker, so you kind of have to do these things. So I stuck my head out the door, had a little smoke, and it was absolutely tipping it down. But the weather looked actually quite nice. It was sunny, and the rain was just quite a strange sight to see because it was beautifully light and bright outside. And then I got ready to go out for my walk because it was the first thing I wanted to do. And so I turned round and went out the front door. And by the time I got out the front door, the rain had stopped literally in the 5 minutes. So I got outside and I pursued the walk that I wanted to do. And luckily I missed all the rain. Fantastic. It was quite bright. It was quite cold though, so I had to be quite careful. I didn't go out like this. I wore a jumper as well, and that was just about right. It was muddy. It was wet on the ground. It wasn't a pleasant walk, but there were quite a few people on the trail. There was quite a few dogs and such, so it was quite enjoyable to say morning to everyone because with a physique like mine and with kind of a face like mine, you don't really expect me to be cordial and kind of polite to people on the way through. People just don't expect that from me. But I said hello to everybody. And it was rather a humbling kind of experience to begin my challenge. There were in no shape or form did I enjoy it at all because the ground was loose in the sense that there was water, there was puddles, there was really quite thick mud, especially at the kind of the far end of the walk because I do kind of a loop and come back. One of these days I'll actually put up a picture of what the route is exactly. In fact, I might just do that and put it in here anyway in the editing process, which will happen in a few minutes. One kind of standout moment was, well actually it was 2 or 3 standout moments, was the fact that a couple of runners passed me on the way down and they stopped to cross the road and I had caught up with them by then, and then they passed me again, as you do, and then I got and turned round, and by the time I turned round and I was about half the way back home, they'd passed me again. Now the reason why I even comment on this is because one of the people that was running was a very beautiful blonde lady, which I will not hesitate to say this, but she was incredibly beautiful, and we didn't say a word to it. I didn't say a word to either of them because they looked like they were running quite quickly, so it was kind of more of a glancing kind of look, as it were. They were both of them very nice, really. One guy, one lady. Yeah, it was something nice to see. A bit of beauty in the walk, as it were, which was quite nice to behold. A couple of people that I recognised on the way through and the way back that I said hello to. I had a nice little chat. I got quite far without my calves hurting as well. I got to I kind of broke up the walk in the sense. I didn't break up the walk. Let me explain what I'm trying to fucking say. The walk that I did is broken up by specific gates, or what I call them staging points, because the gates I use to stretch my calf muscles, because my calves are, in a general term, in a state. They are pretty bad. So I have to kind of stretch them to make sure that I don't have they don't cramp or they don't hurt more than they should. And so these gaits are quite intermittent in the walk that I do. So the first set of gaits is probably about not even half a mile from when I start. The second set of gates is just before the main road that I have to cross, which is probably about 2/3 of a mile, 3/4 of a mile. And then the third set of gates, which was my turning point, which it was right at the end. It's probably about a mile and a bit, just over a mile probably, to those gates. Now what I do is, if I feel the need, I'll stop at one of the gates to stretch my calves, and I'll only limit it to like a minute or so before then I start again. I only had to stop once this time. Normally on my normal walk, when I do with my PT, I'll have probably 2 stops to stretch my calves, because we probably go a little bit further than 2 miles, just about 2 and a bit miles, 2.5 miles. So I have a second stop normally, but I didn't this time because I just felt my calves were fine. They were fine. And that happens pretty much every time I go out for a walk. They're either really good and they don't hurt at all, or I'm almost, within 10 minutes, almost crippled by the pain. It's that bad, and I'm going to the doctor about it in a couple of weeks. Actually, it's more like 9 days, but there's not much else really about the walk that was in any way, shape, or form interesting. As I said, it was muddy and it was unpleasant, really an unpleasant kind of experience. But I have to do it. It's one of those things that you have to do. Yeah. So that's the walk front. I've got a couple of other bits of news. I applied for another job. It's very much a part-time job at my old school, the school that I went to back in the day, Cleveland's. I won't go into any details about it. All I'll say is that it's a part-time job. I'm hoping to hear more about it, hoping to get an interview about it. We'll find out soon enough. What else? That's about it, really. I did put weight on this week, unfortunately. I think on 2 fronts I put weight on. In one front, I burned quite a lot of fat and probably put a little bit of muscle on, because I did do a couple of really good PT sessions, but I also didn't particularly eat very well. So I probably put a mixture of muscle and a little bit more fat on, to the tune of 0.8 of a kilogram, which is probably about 2 pounds. It may not sound very much, but when you're trying to lose weight, putting on weight in any shape or form is not particularly good. But hopefully these walks will help me a bit further on, and that'd be great. Last bit of news is that I got my appointment through for a sleep apnea kind of test, like a monitoring kind of experiment, as it were, just to check if I have sleep apnea or any form of sleep apnea or sleep issues that are contributed by my weight, and if so, it may speed up the process that I get this gastric bypass. But I don't think I've only had one episode of sleep apnea, and I'm not even sure it was sleep apnea, but we'll see what we do. If anyone doesn't know what sleep apnea is, by the way, it's where you stop breathing when you're asleep, and you kind of wake yourself up and you end up having to breathe, obviously. Not very pleasant, and hopefully it doesn't happen to you in your life. It usually happens to people that are a bit fat, a bit fat up here, It stops you from breathing. Anyway, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. These videos are coming out every day, so if you don't like them now, I'm afraid you're going to be bombarded with at least another 27 of them. Sorry. If you do like them, then let me know in the comments below. Let me know any tips you may have for walking, any tips you may have for anything, because at this point I'm completely open to suggestion. That'd be great. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, folks. See you tomorrow.